Hello, my fine friends. So today we are going to be doing a couple of art projects based on dinosaurs. I know you're reading a dinosaur story this week, and your classroom teachers asked if I could come up with something fun for you to do in art that relates to dinosaurs. So we're going to do a couple of things, and you can do one, you can do both. If you don't have time, you don't have to do either, but it's just a fun enrichment activity if you're looking for something to do, and especially if you love dinosaurs. So we're going to be creating some dinosaur bones or fossils out of some salt dough that we'll be making out of some really simple ingredients at home. And we're also going to be drawing a dinosaur. So Mrs. Lemieux will give you some helpful tips on how to draw a dinosaur or any animal that will make it much easier. So we're going to begin with the salt dough dinosaur bones, and I'm going to head over to the kitchen to show you how to make that dough. We are going to make some simple salt dough in order to use that to create our dinosaur bones. And because we're making a decent sized batch, we're also going to separate some of it and color it with some food coloring so you can use it for other things if you want. So you don't just have to use it for the dinosaur bone lesson. So I've got all my ingredients here. I've got flour, I've got salt, and I've got water. So I'm going to start by putting in 2 cups of flour. 1 cup and 2 cups. Now I'm going to put a full cup of salt. Sometimes that salt gets into those big chunks. I'm going to break it up here. A little bit more. I'm going to put in the salt. And then my last ingredient is 1 cup of water. Now I'm going to use my hands to mix it all together, and I'm going to start to knead it. So you're going to need to knead it for about 2 minutes. And if it feels a little too wet, you can add a little more flour if you think that's necessary. So now I'm going to knead until I get it the way I want, and then I'm going to separate it into the bowls and dye some of it different colors. All right, so now all our dough is kneaded and dyed. I got 3 different colors here. I've got some green, I got some blue, and I got some orange. Now you might have noticed I made the orange by blending 2 different food coloring colors together, my red and my yellow. So a little color theory there involved in our mixing. So now I'm going to use my dough to make some dinosaur bones or fossils. The first thing I need to do is turn on my oven to 325 degrees. Now boys and girls, you need to make sure you do this with an adult. This is not something you can do on your own. So while your oven is heating up, you're going to form and create your dinosaur bones or fossils out of your dough that you just made. I have a cookie sheet here, so as I make my dinosaur bones or fossils, I can transfer them right to the cookie sheet for baking. Okay, so I have a little piece of paper here with a dinosaur skeleton on it, and I'm going to use that as a guide to make some of my bones. Okay, so first I'm going to try to make a leg or an arm bone, one of those long bones with the ends, kind of the typical bone you see all the time. So I'm going to roll it like a coil in my hands, and then I am going to form the ends of the bones where they connect in the joints with my fingers. Once I have the shape that I want, I can transfer that bone to my cookie sheet. Now I'm going to make a smaller version of that just to give myself a little bit of variety. Using my thumbs, there's my oven ready, all ready to go. There's my thumbs to kind of create those forms. You can bend it and curve it however you want on the cookie sheet because it'll be cooked that way and that's the way it'll dry out. I'm going to make a rib bone here. I think I'm going to roll again. Then I'm going to take my fingers. It's all about kind of looking at what you see here and using your fingers to kind of form that same shape. Now, boys and girls, it doesn't have to look exactly like it. The great thing about bones is they're pretty abstract. And as long as you get it just about a little right, it's going to look like a bone, definitely. There's my rib bone. All right, I think I'm going to try a jawbone, which I think will be cool because we have all those little teeth coming out of it. So I'm going to create the shape for my jawbone. And then I'm going to take my fingers to pull out the little teeth. Now again, don't worry if it's perfect. You don't just have to have the same amount of teeth as the picture. You can do it however you want. And then I think I'm going to try one of those little pelvis bones. With the holes in it, because those are really an interesting shape. So I'm going to flatten it out a little. Pull out the clay, make a little hole. And make another little hole. And then I'm going to play with it until I get it the shape that I want. Now friends, you can keep on going. You can make more bones of different shapes and sizes and fossils. You can create whatever kinds of shapes and bones you want. And because we made all this extra clay, our dough, you can make other things. You can make different cool shapes, like you could make a heart or a star. You could even put a hole in it so that you can tie some string to it to hang it if you want. It's just a fun thing to do, especially on a rainy day, if a rainy day is coming up, to make these cool things. So not just the bones, you can do other things as well. There's a little heart. Let's see, let's make a green star here. So using my fingers to take the clay and pull out the points. Okay, if you have cookie cutters, you can use that as well, but I'm gonna hand build my shapes today. So now I am going to get ready to put them into the oven. So I think I'm gonna make a few more for you before I do that. So friends, we are going to draw a dinosaur using some basic shapes to start. So with this dinosaur here, we start with an oval for the body and another smaller oval for the head. When you start with the big shapes, it makes it much easier to put in all those small details. When you try to draw the small details first, it can be very confusing and you could make something too big or too small and you've spent so much time on those details, so you don't want to get frustrated by that. So I always say when we're drawing something and we want it to look a certain way, we start with those big shapes and then we build around those shapes to make the object or the animal, or in this case, the dinosaur. So I am going to start with the oval of the body and I'm going to draw it nice and light because I'm not going to want to see this whole shape when I'm done. Nice and gentle and light. Then I'm going to draw the shape for the head up here. And now I want to start connecting, okay? So I'm going to connect the head to the body. Okay, we can add the arms. Now the arms, I wouldn't be too worried about how perfect you make the arms. You can do the best you can. One arm is in the front of the body and one arm goes to the back. Now we're going to use some more shapes to build the tail and the legs. So you can see that the leg has a big oval to start, and then it has that other part of the leg with the foot coming down. Now again, anything that comes close to this is fabulous. Mrs. Lemieux's doesn't even look exactly like the picture, but we want to give you an idea of the best way to draw a dinosaur. Now the tail is going to come from the body of the dinosaur and connect together like that. So now we have all the shapes up here. We want to go back up and we want to do the face. So I'm going to add the top of the jaw here, and then we're going to have one more little line to make the jaw two separate pieces. Give it those sharp teeth, and then a dinosaur eye. Okay. You can also add some spots or pattern to your dinosaur by making the spot go off the side. It looks like it curves around the body, so it shows that the dinosaur is a little more round than it is flat. Okay, so here we've got a great dinosaur drawing. Now I'm going to take a marker, and you can use any kind of marker, or you can use a crayon if you don't have a marker, and I'm going to go over the parts of the dinosaur that I want to see. Now this is where I get rid of some of those shapes that I don't want to see anymore. So do we see how here I didn't trace this little part? Because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that going through my leg. I want it to be behind my leg. Same thing with the arm up here. I don't want to see it go through the dinosaur. I want it to be behind. So I'm not going to go over that part. Same thing with the shape here, the circle we started with, or the oval we started with. Okay, so now that I have all parts that I want to be traced, I'm going to go back in and erase and color. All right, my friends, so I have had a dinosaur-filled day. I have my finished drawing here. I added lots of color. I also added a background, so you can create a background to make it a more of a finished art piece. I put a volcano and some palm trees, and I added lots and lots of color. What I love about crayons is that you can blend different colors of crayons together or on top of each other to get lots of really cool new colors and new designs. So this is my finished colored drawing of my dinosaur. I look forward to seeing some of yours. There are other dinosaurs you can draw as well, and I'll include some different how to draw sheets with different kind of dinosaurs, or even silly cartoon-like dinosaurs that can be fun to draw as well. My salt dough dinosaur fossils and bones are out of the oven, and they are fantastic. They're nice and hard, so you can play with these. If you have a sandbox, you can put them in the sandbox and pretend like you're on an archaeological dig and look for them. You could even make enough bones to piece together a skeleton if you wanted to. Really, the possibilities are endless with these. I also have my fun little kind of ornaments that I made with the holes in them, and these can be used to hang in your room or anywhere you'd like. A lot of fun things to do with that clay. It doesn't have to just be dinosaur bones. So I hope you have enjoyed our dinosaur extravaganza, and I look forward to seeing any of the work you do. Send me a picture. I'd love to see it. I miss you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Mwah.